Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of class. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the first week of material, pretty much laying the groundwork for the argument that indeed there were cultures, there were people groups who were scattered across the American hemisphere, both North and South America, and it is important to bear in mind that culture existed, people existed within what would become the United States, because oftentimes when we think about European settlement, we use terms just like that, settlement. And the Europeans who came to the Americas weren't settlers. I mean, they were in that they settled and they displaced native groups, but indeed, they were colonizers. Settling an area seems to suggest that it is void of something, that it was open for the taking. And indeed, I am under the impression that the American hemisphere was not void of culture or people, and I do not believe it was open for the taking necessarily. And so we have to understand that when we look about Europeans coming to the Americas, they were colonizing. And in some respects, as some historians would argue, they engaged in acts of genocide, removing and oftentimes killing the native inhabitants. And so this brings us into what we're going to be looking at this week. We're going to be taking a look at the colonization of the North American hemisphere by the English. And initially, or eventually rather, there's going to be 13 colonies. I'm going to be focusing in only on 3, and specifically on 2. They are Jamestown, Massachusetts Bay, and Plymouth Plantation. And the 2 that we're going to be really focusing on are Jamestown and Massachusetts Bay with the Puritans. And so this week there's some lectures you need to listen to. I think actually only one lecture. Some videos you need to watch, and then of course there's some discussion board questions also that you will be looking at. So be aware of what is to be coming, and this is a really important time because the colonial period is going to lay the framework for much of the way that the United States is going to function. As you will see in the southern colonies, for instance, in the Chesapeake and in Jamestown, there's going to be a agricultural based system that is going to rest upon forced labor, whether that's indentured servitude or slavery, and of course that system is going to remain in place all the way up into the Civil War and through it. While in the northern portion of what would become the United States, the New England colonies, slavery, although it does exist, is less important to the area because of one, geography. The geography simply doesn't permit for slavery to exist there as often or as much. But there's also some rhetorical issues, some ideological issues that will cause slavery to die out, particularly around the American Revolution. But we'll talk about that later. Okay. But this week, that's our focus, is the colonial era. And we are going to be dealing with a host of different topics this week. So you want to start early and get through the content, and be sure to know when your discussion boards are due. One of the things I did find was some confusion as to when discussion boards were due. As long as you click on the discussion boards, and it will tell you when your main posts are due and when your responses are due by. So make sure that you are aware of that. The only other thing, of course, I want you to be thinking about is your final project. If you have any idea about what it is you'd like to do for that, please contact me. I am hoping that by the end of the 4th week, you will be able to give me some idea as to where you hope to go with that. So I think that's pretty much all I have for you. So if you have any questions or comments, please contact me, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Otherwise, as I will always sign off, go in peace, be warm and filled, may the force be with you, and live long and prosper. Be blessed, guys.